NYC. And we're really happy to be co-presenting this screening tonight. So to start with, here's Dujie and my amazing friend Ziru Wang, who's going to be translating for tonight. I want to read a little bio for Dujie. So Dujie has been a DP for over 20 years. His talent in cinematography has been evident throughout his collaboration with his director Ning Hao. And they've been working on amazing films like Mongolian Ping Pong, Crazy Stone, Crazy Racer, No Man's Land. And while he was working on commercial films, Dujie has also shot many critically acclaimed art house projects like 1 Mile Above, The Silent Holy Stones, and many more. And it's very worthy to mention that Dujie is a member of ASC, so American Society of Cinematographers, which has a very short list of 500 members of top DPs in the field. And this film, The Height of the Coconut Trees, wrote, directed, shot, and edited by Dujie, has been selected by Busan, Tokyo, and now just recently NDAF from the Lincoln Center and MoMA. So, go ahead, yeah. It's definitely a great achievement by a first-time director. So my first question is actually, there are many versions of the synopsis, but I'm curious of what's your 1 or 3 sentence synopsis of your own film? Because I've read many. It's like people say it's travelogue, people say it's a road picture, people say it's a love story, not love story, whatnot. 1 or 3 sentences. Can't be that hard.
It's too difficult. I don't even know the answer to this. I'm sorry. There's just too many things in it. I cannot really say everything in 1 sentence, I guess. I think making this film is a way in research and looking for something and looking for an answer. I don't really how to put it. I don't really know. So.
对，我的也许是因为大家有时候觉得这种问题我都没有看懂的这种可以跟我说，但是我真的就是具体点，就是如果你让我们总结一下，我就会说。
With that said, if you have any confusion about this film, if you don't understand any part, just throw it out. Just ask me. I'm very happy to answer that. But about this, I don't really know.
I think that's great to set the tone. As we talked previously, it's an exploration and it's a journey of this filmmaking. So when we first met, you told me that this is actually one of a 4-part project that's surrounding the ideas of Ren, Wei, Fu, Shen. So humans, ghosts, Buddhas, and gods. So can you share a little bit of the journey of creating that, the 4-part project? And which one of those themes did you sit on for this film, and why did you choose that?
首先我自己不是开始我就选择了这么一个主题，而是可能我写了2个故事，我发现他们好像之间有些内在的关联，好像这个关联就是好像有一个共同的角度，就是那个视觉的人和死人组成这样一个角度。
So I don't really know how to put them together at the beginning, but when I started to write about it, I found there was 2 stories. Actually, there was a connection to it.
最早其实对我来说是一个练习，我就想说，因为我也想拍一个电影， 也许可以自己随便拍一点，对，然后就这样一个想法就开始了。
At the beginning, I see this as a practice. I want to film something, so I just started it.
刚开始的时候有这样一个，就是一个朋友发现的这样一个真实的一个事件，然后我觉得可能就想把它拍出来。然后呢，但我上学的时候有种训练，就是我一直在用就是用摄影的方式来讲故事。
So it actually is from a true story that happened to my friend. And when I heard the story from them, I was like, I really want to put it into film. And I just use what I've learned in our school, in my school.
对，但是后来我看到那个冰可龙界的那个偶然想象，他用大量的对话来去描述一些怎么说呢，讲故事吧，我觉得拍的挺酷的，所以我想也许可以写一点那种全部对话的故事，然后让别人就是能怎么说，能证明我有这种讲故事和控制表演的能力吧。
I do need help for Binkolumjes, Japanese or English name. Binkos.
就是抓驾驶。
Yeah, the director wheels of fortune and then drove my car.
Yeah, director drove my car.
Yeah, hope that resonates. So it's at the beginning I watched this film and I really appreciate his style, and I was just thinking I want to create something that people have in conversations. I want to use my ability of writing script and to prove that I have this ability to make stories like this.
最早的时候就是我拍了很多商业片，我就觉得那个商业片现在对我来说好像我觉得可能有一些其他别的样式的电影吧，所以我想拍一点不太一样的电影，或者是跟商业电影不太一样的电影。是这样的原因开始写这个故事和拍摄的。
So at the very early stages, because in the past I did a lot of commercial films, and I just want to do something different. So I started this one.
To go off from that, the title of this film is very poetic, The Height of Coconut Trees, but it's also like very far from the original project topic, human gods, Buddhas, and gods. So that topic is very supernatural and like a different dimensional topic. But could you share how did you go from there to the height of coconut trees? Is there any backstory? Is there any BTS to share behind this title, maybe?
好像这个人物生活这个故事没有什么太，就是跟名字可能没有什么太多关联。它确实是一个时空在交错，或者是一个叙事比较混乱的这样的一个电影。然后我就想做的，就是因为这个片子我自己出资，所以我觉得可以做点冒险的事情，所以就拍了点这样的方式吧。
So the idea of the four different short films of human, ghost, Buddha, and gods, it's, as you can see, it's quite different from The Height of Coconut Tree. But the idea behind this is because I really want to explore the different dimension of time and space, and even narration-wise, you can see it's like different narration parallel with each other. And also because I self-funded it, this film, I was like, I should just be bold, and this is just a challenge for myself.
至于这个片名其实是，其实也是一个故事，就是，我觉得我简单说吧，因为我想听大家的意见。然后，其实，怎么讲？看怎么短说短，不是很难说短。我没有时间。 简单来说，我觉得其实我这里面有很多元素，就是比如说有时间，有那个距，然后还有一个比如说他每天上班的时候要消耗那个时间，比如他要走32个台阶，然后我觉得我们生活中好多时候都是用一种这种刻度来去丈量我们的那个这个怎么说呢？我们的那种一种价值观或者钱或者怎么样，然后我觉得相自杀这样一个特别明显的一个主题，我觉得很像那个耶的树的那种感觉，它特别明显的矗立在那里，但是好像大家也不知道，没有人关心这个答案，而且那个人当提出这个问题的人已经死掉了，然后我们也不知道他为什么问这个问题，我觉得很有意思，对，所以就。
So I don't really know how to put it in the shorter way. As you check the watch, do we have enough time? I really want to open to the audience and see what you feel about this film. But if I have to explain about it, there's a lot of elements in the film that maybe you find it very mysterious, but it's about the measurement, I think, people would use to measure their life, their time. For example, the protagonist is counting the stages, like 32, 33 stages, and there's other measurements in life as well, money or other things that you would treat as very important in life. And I was just thinking, like, coconut tree, something that is so giant and is just standing over there, it's the same thing as the concept of suicide. People wouldn't really look at it every day. You would just walk past it and just neglect the existence of it. And even it's like that, the girl who asked this question is the one who passed away.
我听到可能就是一般电影上大家都是比较赞美这个电影好，或者其实我想听一些批评的一些意见，就是大家哪里拍的不好。
I heard a lot of compliments, from different film festivals, and I really want to hear your critics, if there's any.
We'll get there in a second. He's really eager to hear from everyone, so we're gonna leave hopefully ample of time for you to think of questions. I do have a couple of more. So when we met the other day for the pre-interviews, you have some high school friends with you that night, and he actually joked about something that I find very crucial. So you guys were in high school ready to get into college for architecture major, but you didn't get in. And he commented, I have to recite it in Chinese first. It's very hilarious. 幸好没考上建筑系，不然世上就少了一个平庸的建筑设计师，多了一个平庸的建筑设计师，少了一个杰出摄影师。然后yeah. So the classmate commented that it's great that Dujie didn't make it into architecture major, otherwise the world would just have yet another very average architect and one less amazing DP. But I do find that there are a lot of consideration around space in this film. So, would you care to talk about your either choice or design of space and how they play into your story?
就是一个画面关于空间的想法的设计跟故事的关联性。
这是个很大的问题，我觉得。
That's a huge question, I think.
Maybe any locations that stood out to you? Any location that set tone of the story?
就是一些具体的地点，一些能够给片子定调的一些具体的场景。
其实我拍片子是有点像拍纪录片，然后这些场景其实是因为我们也没有钱去搭建场景，所以其实是基本上我会去走那个演员他们真正走的那个旅程，以及对，然后我会想象他在那个空间里去完成一个故事，然后到底会发现什么东西，然后比如这里面那个地狱之穴，就是原来这里没有，但是我到那个地方看到了以后我写的，然后我就更多的是我去感受那个环境，去把它给想象中演员如果在这边演怎么演，可能这样一个方式吧，就现场给我这种灵感，或者是 比如说我在海滩看到那个安全帽，就是一个就很奇怪的一个地方真的有个安全帽，我就觉得很有意思，我就把它写到故事里边，就是这样子状态。
You can take it as the process of even making a documentary. It feels like that. So for the different sets, because I don't really have the money to build the scene, I just walk around and do scouting, just see myself as the actors and actors who will walk this line, who will walk through this space. I will just use my imaginations and see what this space give me and where it's taking me to. I just, there's a lot of moments I've found something. For example, the whole of the hail it was not in the script. It's what I found when I traveled over there. So I put it into the script. So what the space you can see here, they are from my personal feelings that I experienced when I'm on set, and just the random inspirations that they gave me. And also another example is that there is a helmet on the beach, which I saw it. I was like, this is so peculiar. Why is it here? Who put it into here? And so I put that into the story as well.
然后另外一个故事像那个戒指也是，其实是我的一个我跟朋友一起玩的时候，有一个朋友丢了他的婚戒。然后我觉得这个故事，我觉得这个情节很有意思，然后就也许这个戒指是一个线索，所以慢慢的就走到了故事里来。这是一个我周围发生的事情的一种启示吧，或者是一种更有灵感。
So another story about the ring that's also from reality, that a friend of mine lost his wedding ring. And so I just put these into the stories, these inspirations from my real life, my reality, and it becomes a trail, and I just keep absorbing from my surroundings.
你说，你继续说。
没有了。
That's it.
From my first impression of you, I feel like you're someone who's really detailed and who likes to plan things out. But after watching this film, I feel like there's a lot of freedom in both story and visual elements. And you just answered that you actually left a lot of improv space when shooting this film. What are some other surprises or challenges, considering the film is shot in Japan and you don't speak Japanese? I'm sure there's many, working with local crews, actors, etc.
跟我这个电影没什么关系，所以我就可以不说了。
I don't think it's related to the film, so probably I'll just skip that.
Very content driven. He wants to hear critiques on content. That's
我
no.
以后大家可以我们以后可以单独讨论这个。
But I'll be at the launch later, so if you want to ask me the details of the story behind
我
the
想知道
scenes,
电影本身的一些故事。
I can talk, but I really want to be asked something about the film.
因为我上次的时候在罗马的时候都没有关注问答的环节，所以我就很遗憾，我就想认真的大家怎么想。
Last time when we were at Oma, it's such a pity that we don't have time to open up to the audience, so I'm eager to hear from you.
Okay, I think that really sets the stage for audience questions. He really wants to hear from you guys.
可以有一些如果在场的讲可以问题。
Please.
Hi, I really loved the film. I thought it was so beautiful, and I was curious about. It seemed like you had a lot to say about themes about isolation and people who are on their own, especially in the modern world. And I was wondering if that's a theme that's important to you, or feels personal, you want to return to, or if that was something that felt more relevant to talk about with this story in particular.
者是一种表现也好，
Probably that's also who I am. I'm like that, and I think that's how I understand what people's relationship is, and that's just probably a projection of my understanding.
在我在日本的时候，可能也有很多时间是用语言不好，我也不太会聊天儿，所以没有大把的时间处在一种比较所谓的孤独的状态。但我觉得，从我的角度理解来说，我觉得孤独本身是一件好的事情，就是它可以真的能让我想，就是怎么说呢？比如我想聊什么东西啊，或者真的去看这件事情，好像有另外一个角度了，打开另外一扇门的感觉。这是我的感觉，我就觉得那个东西有一点点，有点复杂，既享受这件事情，好像又有一点点挣扎的感觉。
Okay. So, when I'm in Japan, my language is really bad. My Japanese is really bad. So there's a bunch of time I'm just being with myself, and I'm not really talking to anyone. But I guess that's just what life is, and I think that is just a coin have two different sides. Like on the first hand, you are enjoying it. You are enjoying your isolation, your loneliness, but also you are struggling with it.
好像也没有回答这个问题。
I probably didn't answer that well. I'm sorry.
From the back here.
So I'm really interested in the thing you brought up about the movie you made about measuring life. And I'm curious how you kind of contrast that with these really beautiful images that you like had scattered throughout the movie that, to me, have like a really lasting impact. Do you think the movie's about contrasting measuring life while also having space for the moment, like the beauty in the moment?
其实我没有想那么多，然后我只是对这个符号感兴趣，然后我就觉得好像这么去把这些元素加在一起，然后把时空搞得乱七八糟的，然后我就觉得这个挺有意思，然后觉得好像我也不需要给到一个什么解释，好像我就觉得那我是个讲故事的人，我就把故事讲得有趣，或者让大家觉得走电影院以后在想为什么是这样的，为什么是那样的，然后可能他就可以了。然后那我觉得可能很多电影里面能一下能解读到那个答案，比如说你会得到一种治愈也好，或者是得到一种生活安慰也好，但我觉得那是好像很多商业电影都是这样的考虑问题，我就觉得好像我不太想考虑问题，我也不想给大家一个这样的一个感觉吧，所以我觉得可能更对。
I don't think I think that much of it, and probably I just I was curious about the metaphor of different elements of it. I was just curious about this measurement, but I wasn't like thinking that deep into that much. I would just think, we're still for the time and space. I think it'll be interesting to be scattered and fragmented. So I just did it that way. I think it's interesting. And I don't think I need to give a specific explanation to it. I want it to be maybe implicit. And I would love that audience even when you walk out the cinema, walk out the theater, you're still thinking about it. Why it's like this, why it's like that. Maybe some people would say this is a therapeutic work. I feel my soul is consoled, but I think that's a lot of commercial films they are trying to do that, which is not my goal this time.
怎么说呢？其实虽然我是一个感性的讲故事，但是我是那天我们聊天也知道，其实我是一个很理性的在思考一些内在逻辑的，所以可能看起来逻辑，就是它比较理性嘛，并不是一个很显性的一个逻辑。比如说我看待这个亲故和这个监狱的这种关系啊，他们其实在我看来并不是一个所谓的那种深深爱的对方那种感觉，他们只是到了就是在人生的某个阶段遇到这个人了，然后到了结婚的年龄了，可能要结婚了，他们是这样一个关系，所以他们关系其实本身是很脆弱的。
So in the surface, it looks like I'm telling the story in a very emotional way, like a plotter. But actually, I am a very logical person, and I think things in my way. I think it's hidden under the surface. The logic behind. For example, the couple who broke up in this film. How I see them is that they're not deeply in love with each other. They're just be with each other, in the right age, and they're going to get married. It's just they're just together, but this kind of relationship is quite fragile to me.
比如他们是因为一个很路人的因素，因为一个列车晚点，别人有自杀的人，导致列车晚点，他们俩相遇了，然后他们才发现彼此其实在一个很这样一个车站附近的工作，然后他认为可能这是一个命运的安排，然后可能就相恋了吧。
So they met each other. The encounter it's quite spontaneous. It's because someone took their life at the train station and the train got delayed. That's how they met, and they thought is the destination. That's their fate that they met each other.
然后他们之间的关系其实怎么说呢？并没有那么紧密，比如说纹身。然后其实对这个男生来说，这个纹身是一个他们父母给他的身体，他不能做的东西。当他们两个人的关系还比较牢固的时候，其实或者他们认为彼此爱对方的时候，可能这个女孩是她可以去做出改变。当她觉得最后的时候这个。
So they don't really have a very concrete or very intimate relationship. The tattoo, about the tattoo, the girl, the boy apparently, in his perspective, the body is given from the parents and he didn't really want to change anything. But when they have a closer relationship together, he would think, maybe I'll do it, for her. But when their relationship got parted and maybe they're going to the end of their relationship and he stopped over there. Yeah, I'm probably not in the best condition of myself, but that's the answer.
然后。
Next question.
Alright, this gotta be the last one over here.
Hi, so I think I'm the first and the last last person to voice a critique, because don't cancel me because the director asked for it. But I want to preface this by saying that when I was watching it, I thought this film was really beautifully shot. The composition, the light, the shadows, and how the characters move. But I guess I wonder if it is precisely because it's too perfect that it felt, I feel a little bit removed from their dialogues, because it is essentially about death. Like a huge part of it is about death, and it's funny because I also thought about transcend imagination when I was watching it, but I thought what makes transcend imagination really powerful, it's how it's because of its expressivity. Like, it's about love affairs, about homosexuality, it's about scandals, and it's essentially about this messy thing that is life. So I guess I wonder if you could talk a little bit about, do you think that it is deliberate to make the images so pretty that, I don't know, I thought, because you mentioned imagination and it's a really messy and ugly film in its depiction of love affairs and messiness of life, and I thought your movie is almost contrary to that messiness and ugliness, and I wonder if anyone feels the same way, emotionally removed from the death depicted, or is it a deliberate choice? Because when people are surrounded by suicidal events, they feel removed from it. Yeah.
我大概明白什么意思了。对，我觉得，怎么说呢？我觉得我没有那个，就是因为他从可能比如说他，上学的时候他就是一个文本能力很强的一个人，他也做编剧，他也在写故事，他就可以在一个比较完整的一个框架下，他知道他的那个电影的影像也好，或者是他的故事也好，那个终点在哪里，他比较清晰的这样的很导演特别需要有的这样的一个才能。但是我觉得我可能不是那样一个创作方式，就是这个片子啊，下个片子可能会好一点。
So I think the approach that I take in creating this film is quite different from him. And he graduated in film school as someone who is really talented in writing script, in booking the script, and then also in the composition and where the story is going to lead us to. He's very good at it, which show a great director's talent. I think it's probably different with him in the approach to this film, but probably in the next film I'll be better.
然后，因为我开始的时候，其实是我觉得有点像是一个，如果举个例子，比如像画家或者画画的人，他可能在画笔上面就画一个大的画板上，他可能画了一个小的局部，就随便画了一点，他觉得有兴趣就画了。但是他画完第一部分以后，他是不知道其他的部分应该怎么样。然后，我觉得我很像那样的状态，就是我在刚开始我觉得，这个很有意思，我就把它画出来了。画出来了以后，我说，那比如说这个东西有另外一部分应该是什么东西呢？然后我就开始寻找其他别的东西，然后但是画完了以后，其实整体的可能都画完了这个画，中间还有很多空白，甚至可能很关键的那个区域还是一个空白，所以它更像是这样的一个这样一个创作方式，所以我觉得这个故事本身是可能确实本身有这样的一种问题，那我后来 特点吧，就是它留了很多空白，让观众去想象那个空白应该是什么内容，所以可能是这种吧。对，这可能是就是我从创作出发到结尾的这样的一个这就是这样一个路径吧。我觉得我很难回去说再去从头去把这个故事再重新拍一遍，或者是再去想一遍，它不是那样一个创作方式，就跟从编的方式或者很多导演的方式都不太一样。
I think you can see me as probably a painter who had a huge canvas, and I was looking at a huge canvas, but I started from very small areas of the canvas, and I just painted something here, something over there, and after I finished these, I step back and I look at a whole thing, and I felt like, oh, I have so much negative space here, even some key points here are missing, but the whole painting is finished right now. I think probably that's the way I made this film. There's probably some problem in it, in the way I made this film, but you know, I got to my tolerance in the end. The reason why I can tolerate it being like this is I think it gives the audience the space for you to imagine what's behind the story, and the negative space just there now belongs to your imagination. And also, if I really need to reshoot anything, or if I think about redo the story, I just don't think I will be able to do it like this.
对，在新的电影里，我会比这个要顺畅一些，觉得我想更清晰一些，人物也会更清晰一些。然后这个是一个可能我第一部片子吧，可能反正我是觉得过程让我觉得很愉悦，然后我也觉得好像也是我想要那个片子的样子就是我是在一个海边的雪这样的状态。
Probably in my new film, it'll be better, it'll be more smooth, more clear. I really enjoyed the process of making this film. I think this is what I wanted, and I was learning while filming. I really enjoyed it.
I think that's all the time we've got for tonight. Yeah. So thank you all for coming.
Please come to the launch to talk to me.
Really want to hear your thoughts. See you all in the lobby.